to the show Allowed to Talk. And today, if you hear a noise like a dog just laid down on the floor, that was my dog. So today on the show Allowed to Talk, I'd like to talk about lessons, like learning your lessons and all about lessons, what you learn with a lesson that you learned, and all kinds of lessons. And when I think of lessons, I think of when I took piano lessons. When I turned 29, I decided I'm going to learn to play piano, but I started with the organ, 2 keyboard and a full foot pedal. And I tried it for about a year, and then my organ teacher decided I should go back to piano. So, my dog's scratching. Abby, stop scratching, please. So I went back, or started with piano again. Well, I actually took organ lessons when I was about 18. When I lived with my one sister down at Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey. Abigail. She's actually under the bed. I didn't know she was under this bed. I thought she was in the room over there, but she's under the bed. Abby, stop. No. So, the organ lessons I took when I was 18 was about maybe 6-8 months till I stopped taking those, because I was trying to get a job with the federal government as a clerk typist then. That was before I even went in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. And I'll soon be 66 years old. And, I've learned a lesson there that you don't wait till you're old to take lessons. Like, I would like to tap dance. I've never taken a lesson in dance. I've never taken a lesson in singing, which you know only too well by listening to my singing. But I do love to dance, and I wish I would have taken tap dance lessons. I took my daughters when they were 3 and 6. I think they had about 2 years of dance, jazz, and tap. And they loved it, and it helped them with coordination, but I wish I would have taken lessons. That's a lesson I learned, that I should have started younger to play piano. Then I was 29, I was 30 till I started piano, 29 when I started the organ. The full 2 keyboards and the whole full pedals, like a church organ I wanted to play. Well, I never got really good at playing piano either. After 10 years, I was 39 when I quit, and I could only play basic. I couldn't play notes fast enough to even play for church with people singing along. I did play one Sunday when the pianist and no one could come to play the little, they had a 1 octave pedal, and I could play just the basic tunes for a couple songs for people to sing along, ones that I played over and over that I knew pretty well. And I did play for my sister Jean's second wedding after her first husband passed away, and then she met a guy and got married again. Now she passed away in 2021, August of 2021, and she's the one who believed me about narcissistic personality disorder that people have. And yeah, one thing I learned, my lesson is that people who do have narcissism are very cruel people, narcissistic personalities. Do not, let me repeat, do not think they're doing anything wrong. So to confront them, if they watch one of my videos and see what I say about the DSM-5 and DSM-6, I might add post-traumatic stress that's complex because of childhoods, and then narcissistic abuse from them, and how to heal. And they've come a long way with that, but they don't believe they've done anything. They don't think they're wrong about anything. They can't believe they're wrong because they just might die. They think they're going to die if they make a mistake or aren't perfect, and that's sad. That's a sad lesson to learn. But for me to learn that, I didn't know all this stuff, and I've healed a lot since then. Another lesson you might learn as a child is if your parents are very cruel, maybe they have a disorder. There's all kinds of personalities, like I said in one of my other videos, so that I thought basically people all had compassion. Boy, was I wrong. I learned not all people have the same as you do. If you have compassion and you care, or you want to try the best you can, even if you give up, or you say, I can't do this, or I'm tired, or I just can't do it today, have boundaries and say, I can't. And just say if you can't. Say no. It's okay to say no and say, I can't do it now. But if you can do it, it's okay to say yes, too. But I lose my train of thought. Lessons. Lessons! What you learn from some parents say, I told you, do not touch the stove when it's on, and the child reaches up and touches the hot stove. You learned your lesson then. And a lot of parents, like if my kid did that, I would say, or anything I told them don't do and they got hurt, I'd say, let's get some ice. Just ask my daughters. I'm an ice fanatic. Let's put ice on it. Put ice on everything. It makes everything better. Well, if you burn, I guess you wouldn't put ice on a burn. I don't know exactly how to do a burn anymore. I guess you would put ice, but the truth is, I've learned my lesson when I burned my thumb real bad about 8 years ago, and I called my daughter, said how it hurt. And she said, put preparation H. The preparation H, that is like a, not a powder or a cream, like a gel, preparation H. And man, within a half hour, the pain was drawn right out, because preparation H draws out. The dog is low crawling under the bed now. For preparation H, if you burn yourself real bad, put that on. And if I told my daughters, if you do this, if you jump off this end of the porch, it's way too high, you're going to get hurt. And they jump off the end and they get hurt. I'm not going to say, well, you're so dumb. Did you learn your lesson? You got hurt. I told you not to. I'd say, oh, you shouldn't have jumped. I told you, but let's go take care of that scratch or whatever, your bloody hands, your bloody knees, whatever. Let's clean you up and talk about it. You know, you shouldn't have jumped. It's way too high. And let's take care of your hurt. Because no matter they probably just didn't realize it was as high as it was and didn't believe me even. Kids don't always believe their parents. And sometimes you learn your lesson the hard way and, clean them up and tell them, you learn that you can't jump off of there because you could get hurt. Maybe when you're older, like if you're only 6, maybe when you're 12 or 13 or 14, you could jump off there. That's just a metaphor, just an example. But your leg, whether you break it because you climbed the ladder and you fell off the ladder by accident, or if you take a hammer and you just pound your leg because you're pissed off at somebody and it breaks, the pain's the same. It hurts the same. But the difference is you did it yourself when you took the hammer and hammered your leg, or when you fell off the ladder and broke a leg. It was by accident, but it still hurts the same. So whether your parents are cruel or they abuse you or don't nurture you properly or just validate you properly, it can be by accident, not intentional. It can be unintentional because of things going on in your family. I'm trying to cover that glare from the light, the ceiling light. So it can be intentional or unintentional, but you should learn your lesson after 1 child, 2 child, 3 children, 2 childs, yeah, 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 children, 10 children. You should learn that things are different. Every child has a different personality. They are different. Depending what birth order they are, depending how much money and funds you have to raise the kid, where you live, what you can and can't do, what's going on in your life. I could use my dad as an example. When he was only a little kid, probably 18 months old, around there, because there's a picture of him with his brother before the accident. The brother was like probably 7. That's a guess. And he was probably 18 months old. That's a guess. And his brother went sled riding and went over the trolley, and the trolley came, and he lived, but his leg got severed off by the trolley and a couple of his fingers. That was my uncle, my dad's brother. And because of that tragedy, my dad was messed up. And because of the tragedy of my older brother getting divorced from his nymphomaniac wife, look the word up if you don't know what it is, when I'm only 7 years old, and my mom's focused because she's a rescuer. She would rescue people, and I guess I didn't seem like I needed rescuing, of course, because unintentionally I was abused big time. No one's going to say that's not true. They can, but I know the truth. I lived my life. I was the 10th child that was supposed to be a boy in her mind, and I was a girl. But anyway, back to lessons. I learned that I was a piece of crap. I was a nobody, worthless, because she was focused on rescuing my oldest brother, who was 25 at the time, with 4 children, which I love those kids like my own brother and sister, of course. They were aged 5, 4, 3, and 9 months old, and she was focused on that. and I opened up about it and I was shot down. I'm not allowed to talk. Like, my show is called Allowed to Talk. So lessons. I've had no dance lessons. I've had no singing lessons, as you know. I've had some organ and piano lessons. And my family did have a group that had lessons. They had instruments, a guitar, a mandolin, a marimba, and the bells. What's that called? Oh, I can't think of it anyway. The bells and glockenspiel. Glockenspiel. They had the glockenspiel. One of my sisters played that. And marimba, guitar, accordion. Oldest brother played the accordion. Anyway, but the younger kids, I guess my one sister that passed away now, not the one that died in August, but the one that died like when she was only 62, because the one in August was 77. She was around 62. She had piano, but she quit. But that, I'm just saying, I didn't have any lessons until I was 29. But I had no dance lessons, but you can learn your lesson. And right here's my dog. Come on out. Come out from under the bed. Come on. Abby, come up. Come and see us. Anyway, just keep dancing.